I am confused. Are you? Genders? Everybody's got a weird gender out there. People can't stop killing one another. We want man-boy love out there. Oh, dear God. Guys, thanks for that. Had to refill the coffee cup. LibertyOneTV.com. American Warrior. Gang, gang, gang. Fight me. I want people to fight me tonight. I want you guys to strap on your big boy and your big girl pants and call in and put me in my place. Put Izzo in his place. Because I'm having the hardest time comprehending a couple facts. Just a little bit of facts tonight. Make sure you share this. Get this out there. The number's posted at the bottom. You should be able to see 708-982-0974. 708-982-0974. Love to be able to get your inputs on there. Good to see you guys going on there. All right. Who got Austin in Tennessee? Look at that. Alice, I'm sorry. Angela. Reagan. Oh, yeah. No. I think I told that to somebody else the other day. I was talking about music videos, and I said how they made fun of Reagan for that music video. For those of you who don't know, the music video Orlando Confusion by Disturbed. Disturbed wasn't the original group to sing it. It was Genesis. And they did a music video back in the 80s with puppets, and they really made fun of Reagan, and it made him look really inept and stupid. And I said it, you really can't get other presidents to be attacked the way that Republicans can. 708-982-0974. I don't want to be long and hot-winded tonight. I'm a little bit amped up, but when aren't I? Out in my neck of the woods, Chicago, Cook County. An anti-violence protesters plan to shut down a portion of Lakeshore Drive and the streets around Wrigley Field on Thursday. That's this coming week, so 2 days from now. Well, a day and a half. But they are not working with the Chicago Police or the Mayor's office. This is all from ABC 7 News. Participants expect to get arrested, organizers said. The protests will occur at the height of rush hour and just ahead of the 7 p.m. Cubs-Padre game at Wrigley Field. At 4 p.m., the group plans on shutting down the northbound lanes of Lakeshore Drive on Chicago's north side before marching west on Belmont Avenue, then in North Clark Street into the ballpark. You know why they're doing this? And, that's why I love a phone call from somebody. I love somebody to educate me. And I'll keep my language pretty clean because this is not my channel. This is, Liberty One, American Patriot, American Journal Review. So I'm an effing idiot if I can't understand why these morons, these brain-dead morons, are protesting against the gun violence in Chicago, and this is the methodology from where they're doing it. Guys, I really need somebody to wind up really educating me because I can't seem to comprehend why black-on-black violence is out of control at a genocidal rate. It is. Let's not mince words. This is not Liberty One's point of view. This is not American Journal. This is not American Patriot. This is my own personal Dominick Izzo point of view. My viewpoint is that now in the month of July alone for Chicago, we got 31 days, and this stat was put out yesterday. So within 30 days in Chicago, we have had 59 people shot and killed, 262 shot and wounded, 321 total shot, and a total homicide of 64. So over 2 per day. Over 2 per day. And the stats are all on heyjackass.com, and it's a site that's used by the media to reference all the asinine behavior of the morons in Chicago who can't keep their fingers off the trigger. And again, this is not Liberty One's viewpoint. This is my viewpoint. But it seems to me, regardless of how much help is ever thrown at one way, or how much ever media time a group can get, or how much ever publicity these shootings can get, I do not think the black community as a whole, generalizing 100% here, cares about themselves. I think human life doesn't have a value. I think that only serves a purpose when it is either for money or for attention or for some indoctrinated, brainwashed philosophy of your life only matters in the black community if you were killed by a cop. I'd love someone to call in and correct me. 708-982-0974. 708-982-0974. I really don't feel like talking all myself. I don't need to. I don't want to. We've had so far in Chicago this year 9 police shootings resulting in 4 deaths. But these morons, and I don't know what else to tell you that you're a moron if you think that protesting outside of an area to get attention, and I had this, is going to do anything to solve your problem. And I had this argument with a colleague of mine who's black, and he had said that you don't understand. They're protesting they, meaning the black community, is protesting outside of the neighborhoods from where these shootings occur. So white neighborhoods, Wrigley Field, Lakeshore Drive, Commerce, people traveling in and out of the city, far removed from where the shootings are happening, to get the attention to come back in the cities, to draw attention towards it. How does that make me care? Now, I care about the loss of tragic loss of human life. There's no question. No question. But how am I supposed to care when and I'm going to read a quote I got from someone else. When you blame everybody but yourselves, you can't keep your fingers off the friggin' triggers. You shut down where law-abiding citizens operate, and you expect, it's like basically you shit your pants and you are a grown adult and you want me to change your adult diapers when you're fully capable of doing it. That's how I'm starting to see this problem. Mayor candidate Willie Wilson, who's running for Chicago, is throwing money at the problem, and he may be the greatest guy in the world. And I understand these are local issues we're talking about, but these affect the rest of the world. You want to talk about your gun issues, you want to talk about your trans issues, your race-related issues. Chicago is a petri dish for multiculturalism, and it sets the stage greater than New York, as far as I'm concerned, greater for LA, for the melting pot across the country about how trends are set. I truly believe that Chicago sets the page for that. And I think that you should care, even if you're not in the city. If you're in a suburb or a state that's different, that is not even close here. But you got mayoral candidate Willie Wilson who's throwing money at the problem. Literally, I believe he's given out $150 towards congregants of churches to help them with their property taxes. And I don't know if that's limited only to the black community. I don't know if the Hispanic community is getting it. I don't know if white community is getting it. But I know that's buying votes. You may have the greatest intent and heart for the matter. But the issue is you're buying votes and you're making a mockery out of the electoral process. But it seems that nobody cares about anything else other than that. It's money. That's it. So I don't know what else to say. But in one of Wilson's videos, he talks about that the police need to become more community oriented. They need to ride the trains more, walk the streets more, this and that. And he puts the onus of the responsibility of blacks to stop killing one another on the police. And I wrote a comment saying, wouldn't it be great for the blacks to stop killing each other? Something to the effect of that. And Anthony Bullock, who I believe is black because he's got his profile picture is that of Africa with the African flag as the colors. People kill me with this statement, which is my statement. You just want these kids to stop shooting, but they don't want to say nothing when the same government officials cut monies going to keep these young folks busy. At what point, and this is serious, so let's talk about this for a second. If you got the government being blamed for the blacks killing one another, schools, lack of funding, lack of businesses, lack of resources, lack of activities for these kids to do things, at what point in time does that light or that scale balance go from here's all of these attributions or attributes, you're blaming it on government, you're blaming it on money, you're blaming it on lack of funding, you're blaming it on lack of activities, you're blaming it on schools, you're blaming it on lack of jobs, you're blaming it on all that, you're blaming it on the guns, all this. When do you start looking at the corrupt morality of the black community? When do you look and say, if you put the same two cultures side by side, white and black, and you removed both from their standings, which community would come together and work and fight, and which community would be killing themselves? I think it's time we start asking these questions. And I've had black guests on my show who will say that the black community is morally bankrupt. you have to be unafraid to ask these questions, and you have to be unafraid to wind up bringing these facts out here, because it's a load of bullshit if you continue to blame everybody else but yourselves when you can't take your finger off the trigger, put a gun down, and value human life. I don't know. Call me insane. I wanted answers. I want to be able to sit there and know that I'm wrong. I'd love to have somebody have me prove me wrong. 708-982-0974. I could sit back and drink my coffee. Let me know if you guys can be able to view this. It seems so. These are just my viewpoints, guys. I had a commenter, on the page before when I did a little bit of a pre-video talking about the fact that, I'm running for sheriff in this town, and I'm so tired of being PC constantly. If by now you don't that I use the F-bomb quite frequently, or if you know that I'm anti-Islam, or I'm pro-black community, but I also think that they're crying about stuff that they need to take more accountability on their own. If you are not by now past the shock value of what my words are and have not seen my actions, then I don't care about what somebody's going to be doing, throwing money for someone else's votes. It's time for people to start taking off these fake personas and actually run for office with less disingenuous traits in their hearts. Alice says, I'd call in and argue with you, but in all honesty, I'm conservative. I totally agree with you. I would love for somebody to come up and point some different views out that I haven't. I've gone into the black communities. I've gone as a unarmed white male by myself into the worst neighborhoods, walking around, asking for help, asking for comments, asking for feedback. And some people want to talk to me. Some people have no comment to talk to me whatsoever because they still think I'm a cop. Some people really say they're going to show up. I can't tell how many people in the black community, oh, I'm a pastor here, or I'm this, I'll meet you there. They don't show up. They don't show up. I'm left with the only other solution, that the black community doesn't care about themselves. I'd love to hear some viewpoints. I'm going to sip my coffee here for a second. 708-982-0974. 708-982-0974. I would love someone to call in and set me straight. Am I racist? Is it a racist action to sit there and believe, think, feel that no matter what you do as white, the black community will always find some blame being laid at your feet? Slavery, which is over. Jim Crow, which is over. Equal rights. You name me a right that someone has, that I have, that someone doesn't. I'd like to know where we're headed, what our future is, what our viewpoints are. You got to look at it. I read these numbers off before. This is pretty scary. These are talking about Chicago's mayors. And just think about this for a second. We're going back from the 1950s. From 1955 to 1976, Richard J. Daley had 10,910 homicides under his time as mayor. 21 years as mayor. Michael Blanddick, 76 through 79, so only 3 years. 2,408 homicides. We got Jane Byrne. Now, I remember Jane Byrne as a kid. From 79 to 83, 3,000. Harold Washington was only in for a few years because remember he died of a heart attack. 3,000. Eugene Sawyer was in for 2 years, had 978. Richard M. Daley, the son, 14,653 murders. And then Rahm Emanuel's got 3,691. This is Izzo. Who's this?
This is Rick.
Rick, what's going on?
How you doing, sir? I was watching you on Facebook earlier. I do think that it's a minority of the black community that's bankrupt. I don't think it's a whole majority. I think it's a lot of black people that get a bad rap for a minority of black people doing the wrong thing, sir.
All right. No, I'm not going to disagree with you. There's a number. You can't say it's 51%. Can't say it's 50%. I'm going to limit it down to saying that the young, urban, black youth, uneducated, broken families has a morally bankrupt disposition. Am I wrong on that?
No, they not break it down into individuality.
Sure, of course.
I grew up in circumstances of a similar nature, but it takes. I say it's like you have to have a victim mentality instead of a victim mentality. That's what the left wants us to do. The left wants us to be like, okay, slavery happened. Yeah, it is, but it didn't happen to me, and you're not responsible for slavery. So there's a lot of vitriol that's involved in a lot of the left's rhetoric. So it makes black people more of a victim than a victim. You feel what I'm saying?
I do. I say it. I said this the other day. I said if I sat there and I moved to some continent, the very tip of South America, I don't even know what that's like, and moved into some jungle where there were no communications, no electricity, no electronics, nothing, and I raised a kid. And the first time that kid was able to comprehend an airplane flying overhead, and I said, ooh, that's aliens from another planet, that kid is going to believe what I say because Dad told him, and that's what they're growing up with. Is it safe to say that when you have lack of education, and I believe that it was somewhere in the 50s to the 60% of black males graduating high school in the city of Chicago, so you have a lot of black males who are uneducated, literally. If you're dropping out of high school, you lack education. You're ignorant. So if you're not able to comprehend, if you're not able to read, if you're not able to research on your own, if you can't, the difference in the cultural languages, I can't tell you how many times it's hard to communicate with the black community because the dialect and the verbiage is an impasse. How is that kid supposed to believe anything that is factual and not anything, or is going to believe everything that is told to them in their environment? So that kid is going to grow up and believe the police are out there hunting them like dogs. They're going to believe, it's going to be indoctrinated into them that they're going to be, they're worse off than everyone else. It's everyone else's problem, or it's everyone else's fault that falls on them. They can't get a fair shake. It's lack of education, and you're going to believe exactly what you're fed.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but you have to look and see what party is running Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago for
Democrats, 100 years.
Chicago's ran by what, Democrats?
Democrat, 100 years.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Anywhere that Democrats, you can go Chicago, you can go Maryland, Baltimore, anywhere of that nature. Even like Compton, out there with Maxine Waters, with her crazy behind. It's crazy, bro.
Why do, and it's going to be, it's just literal ignorance on my part because I don't understand this. Why does the black community continue to vote these people in?
Because, okay, for one, you're told from, I know from a young age, I was told that, okay, the Republican Party is racist. Then you're spoon fed that, okay, white people are racist. But that's kind of, I don't know. That's kind of like the rationale, you know what I'm saying? You got to look at the community. Yeah, pro-black speakers. Let's say like a Dr. Umar Johnson or like the Hebrew Israelite groups and things of that nature. You have those there, and now they're on YouTube, so it's like spreading more rhetoric.
Well,
And then you don't see any Republicans reaching out. You know, you got like. Now I see like Candace Owens and people of that nature, like a Ben Shapiro and all that, they're speaking. But I do not think that's enough. It has to be somebody that from that community that sees what's going on with them.
Well, let's see what we could do. I mean, I appreciate the call, and let's see what we could solve tonight. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
708-982-0974, 708-982-0974. Charlotte, North Carolina, calling you.
Hello?
Hey, this is Izzo. Who's this?
What's going on, Izzo?
Not much. You got to lower that background a little bit for me, please.
I'm listening to the show.
What do you got? Educate me. Help me. Make sure. I got to be saying something wrong. I have to be so far off base that I'm full of it.
feel like your premise of your question is loaded. The way you even start off the premise, if you raise somebody to indoctrinate them to believing that the police are against them, or you indoctrinate them to say the police are bad and you want to stay away from them, like the premise of that is off. We got to look at both sides of the coin, though, because you got a lot of folks that get into the police business that think that every black person that they come across is a crook.
Now, how do you know that?
And how do you know the opposite? See what I'm saying? Like, it goes both ways.
No. I've said this. Hang on. No, I'm gonna support. I'm gonna actually support you for a second, because I have said, in the generation coming up with law enforcement, what you have are, thanks to Facebook, you have Facebook pumping through your feeds constant videos of the black community, and all they're showing is that the young urban males are thug criminals that they're showing. So yes, I agree with you in part that if I'm a 21-year-old kid and I want to go be a cop in Chicago, and I'm in the Northwest Side and I have no exposure to the black community, when I go to the academy all gung-ho and I watch my Facebook, all I'm going to be fed over and over and over is that the black community is violent and filled with criminals. I'm going to have a prejudgment to that. I believe that now, that going into the future, that what you said, there is a level of accuracy to that. So I'm not disagreeing with you. In part, you're accurate. But I guess here's my question.
In part, you're accurate too. But here's the thing: these type of dialogues have to happen before, during, and after the academy. I be on your page a lot, man, and I feel like you dog whistle to a lot of racists that are on your page following you. Do I think you're a racist? I think you say racist stuff sometimes.
Help me out. What do I say that's racist? Now remember, racism is me having the ability to oppress someone else. How have I been able to do that?
Well, we're not talking about just you. Racism is systematic.
Explain that. Go ahead, lay it on me. Explain that.
Okay, so the systems that are in place, the justice system, the police force in places, they are skewed against people, minorities. I'm not even going to say black people. I'm just say minorities in general, because the most of the time, because I've dealt with, and I'm a Marine.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your service.
I've been out of the service, no problem. I've been out of the service for going on 14 years now. I went in October of 2001, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines, Camp Lejeune. I seen both sides of the coin. I've had people in my, let's get back to the systematic part about racism. I don't want to get too far off topic.
Floor is yours.
Say it one more time.
The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, so with the systematic oppressions that white people don't seem to think exist, I don't understand. Like, if it didn't exist, there would be no need for these calls to action and these calls to justice for the most part.
Again, I don't understand. Here, the only thing I'll disagree with you that the system is corrupt. In my viewpoint, in the years I served, I've met a ton of biased cops, but I've never met one that has made their bias influential. And I'm not talking about race bias. I'm talking about other biases. I've never seen a cop who's been having custody disputes with his wife take it out on a female who's screwing over her husband with kids on a call. I've never seen a race issue. I've never seen bias at cops. I've never seen biases in the courts with the judges. Here's where I've seen, the only time I've ever seen anything that could be indicative of systemic racism in the criminal justice system is the lawyers. Meaning that a lot of times the black community does not have the dollars to hire the costly lawyers that the white community does. That's the only time I will see that, okay, it could be systemic, but not everybody's got a right to counsel, but it's what you get paid for.
But But you got to understand that part. I mean, because it all goes hand in hand, you know.
Is that the system?
The reason why black people don't have those dollars is because of systematic oppression. You have to trace it all the way back, and you can trace it all the way back to the money if you want.
All right, so let's keep it real on this one too. Let's create an opportunity. Now, if I drive down North Avenue in Chicago, if I drive down Chicago Avenue, if I drive down Division, I'm going to go through a neighborhood, Austin. Let me see how many shootings we've had in Austin so far this year. I don't want to take up too much time on this, but Austin's got the number one. Austin's got 39 homicides so far this year. No, Austin, Chicago. It's Austin neighborhood in Chicago. 39 homicides, 156 wounded, with 195 total shots. The number one, violent neighborhood in Chicago right now. Now, I got a business. I can go down there. I can open up. I can create opportunities so that people can say, "We need jobs." All right, I'm going to need 10 employees. I can hire 10 people. All this. What's going to say? You gotta lower that background for me.
I got you.
Would you yourself recommend anybody non-black? Because let's not mince words here. Sometimes the whites aren't welcome in the black neighborhoods. Would you recommend anybody non-black open up a business in one of those neighborhoods in Chicago? And what could happen to them?
What type of business are we talking
Anything.
about?
Anything.
What opportunity?
It's a mom and pop coffee store. It needs 10 employees.
Would I recommend it? More than likely not, until the neighborhood gets cleaned up.
Well, so here's the problem. So
okay,
why?
Well,
But there's the problem.
That's not an easy thing to just say. Okay, let's just wait till the neighborhood gets cleaned up. Because how does the neighborhood get cleaned
So
up?
what if Chicago proposed? What if Chicago proposed? Hey, we have 10 businesses that are going to open up in your neighborhood. You got to behave yourselves for the next 60 days to show these businesses you're worth coming in. Stop killing each other. Stop breaking into things. Stop robbing each other, and attract the businesses. Human morality and ethics, how hard is that to do to stop committing criminal activity?
We have to talk about a lack of education. Yeah, like all of these things.
We all know killing is wrong.
We have to talk about a lack of education. We have to talk about a lack of opportunity. We have to talk about a lack of resources. We have to talk about dilapidated neighborhoods where people feel like they don't have any other options but to turn on each other.
So do you think if Chicago put all its focus in these neighborhoods, gave them resources, education, everything possible, you think these kids would stay in school? You think they'd stop killing each other? Do you think the value on human life would increase?
Listen, absolutely.
It would?
Absolutely. It's been proven. It's been done.
Okay.
LeBron James is doing it right now for his neighborhood. You have to understand that things like this don't just happen overnight, and the situations that a lot of minorities are in don't just happen overnight either.
No, I can't imagine. I don't imagine what. And you know what? And here's some of the things, because you know what? If we're going to have a real conversation, we're going to have a real conversation. The government endorses, especially with the Democrats, these women start pumping out children left and right and collect a government check. Would you disagree with that?
Ask me that question one more time.
Do you agree or disagree that disagree or agree that welfare pretty much encourages women to continually have kids for paychecks from the government?
All right, Izzo. Like, okay, let's have a serious conversation.
I asked the question.
Do you okay? We're gonna talk about welfare. Do you understand that the majority of people that are on welfare are white, right? You do know that, right? Well,
here's the deal. If you have 13% of the population is the black community, and let's just remove everything else, let's just say the other 87% is white, by numbers alone, of course, the whites are going to be on a majority of welfare. It's a government system. Because I'm asking, in which culture, because I think it's more prevalent in the black community. I think based on what I've seen, I have seen more in my experience as a cop. I've shown up to more domestics with a woman who is unwed, who has 4 or 5 kids from 4 or 5 different men, who uses the system against the black man, gets kicked out of the home. She doesn't have a job, and she's teaching the young black men in the house. Police are bad because they take your father out of the house, and your father's a deadbeat because he's got to be taken out of the house by the police. In my years of experience, I don't think I've ever seen that from the white community, Hispanic community. I know for a fact I've never seen it from the Hispanic community. I've seen it from the black community. Why is that indicative of that culture?
Because it works. It works to the detriment of black people, which is falling back on systematic racism. Like, I understand why white people will say they'll holler about welfare when the majority of white people are on welfare by the numbers alone, like you said. But then you turn around and you see people who get per diems or whatever you want to call them and abuse those types of systems, and it's not called the same thing.
I think the underlying problem.
Let me.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna break down what you just said. Let
Go
me
ahead.
talk about the moral part about it. The moral part about it, as far as what you're saying, as far as like how it's you get assistance. Your child's father can't be in the house or whatever. I don't know anything about those systems. I will say this. None of that makes sense to me. Do you think that given the opportunity, because like you said, it's a breakdown in the communication. Before I called in, you said that on your show. There's a breakdown in the communication. The breakdown in the communication starts at education. When people can articulate to each other, on a just some type of sensible level.
Education in the home or education in school?
Yeah, education. They can have a good diatribe. But if your education is broke down because your neighborhoods are dilapidated, because your neighborhood got redlined, so there are no taxes being pumped into the schools.
Mm-hmm.
The schools are falling apart. Things like that happen.
So,
what do you think happens to the
and we've seen that.
around it?
We've seen white neighborhoods that are horrible. Exactly how you're describing. Why is it that on a weekend you will hear about Baltimore, you'll hear about Chicago, you'll hear about Detroit?
Because
Why is this murder, this shooting, seemingly more prevalent and exclusive to the black community than it is to the white community? Why?
Oh my God, Izzo, where do you think black people get all these guns from, bro?
Oh,
Honestly,
I got guns. I have a lot of guns. I have no urge to go kill anybody.
Exactly. We're not mass producing guns. We're getting our hands, like black people get their hands on guns.
So nothing is the black person's fault then. It's everything else is.
We're not talking about fault right now.
Okay.
If you're saying nothing is the black person's fault, I will agree with you on this. The lack of education is the individual's fault in general. So if you decide not to educate yourself, and then you decide to, because your life is just a culmination of your choices. Your character is just a culmination of the choices that you make. So if you choose not to get educated and you choose to take the easiest way out on everything, of course it's not anybody else's fault. But if you put a book in my hand or put a gun in my hand and I'm hungry and I gotta eat, the book doesn't get me where I need to be quicker than a gun will.
I want somebody to explain to me how if I could take 1,000 poverty-stricken whites and stick them in town A and 1,000 poverty-stricken blacks and stick them in town B and duplicate identical the resources, the amount of guns, everything else, it absolutely seems no, I'm asking. This is fantasy land. I will bet you money the black community will have a higher number of fatalities than the white community. It just seems like that on a daily basis.
So here's the thing. Tell me why most of the leaders in black communities had to get sabotaged, shot, killed, whatever.
Why is the black community? Why? Tell me why.
Let me finish
Go ahead.
my train of thought here.
Go ahead.
Because it seems like every time black people do get some unity about them, something, somewhere, somehow, gets sabotaged.
When is the last time that happened?
Let's see. The Black Panther Party.
What was that? The 70s?
Probably the wrong example to use on this show.
I don't.
But most black people that are educated about the Black Panther Party know that the Black Panther Party was a means to protect themselves from corrupt cops in their neighborhood.
So should there be a White Panther Party? Would you agree that whites came together and protected
the White Panther Party the government in general, because the White Panther Party protects white people. You see it in the news all the time. A black person gets arrested and charged if they leave their infant in a hot burning car and the infant dies. A white person does the exact same thing and they get off. Is it the
I'd love to see examples of that. I'd love to see examples. So, why are whites charged with hate crimes, but blacks aren't?
Because okay, so.
And then I want to back up because I want you to answer this. Why is the black community the only community that has community leaders?
You got to get a little deeper than that. You're being real general.
Yeah, this is 2018. Slavery's over. Jim Crow is over. Everybody's equal. You got the same. You actually get more rights than I do. You have more opportunity than that. If you and I apply for the same job in today's society, people are going to sit there and going to be afraid to turn you down and hire me instead.
That's not true.
It's very true. Affirmative action.
I'm an IT professional. I get turned down for jobs all the time because I don't meet the criteria.
Why do we have the government saying we need to have more people of color on the board of Facebook?
I don't complain about not getting hired.
No, I appreciate that. We got more calls coming in. I want to take these. I mean, I appreciate your viewpoints and but I think we got a long way to go. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, 708-982-0974, 708-982-0974. 312 in Chicago calling you. Guys, if I'm talking over my guests, let me know, because I want to make sure that I give them ample time to talk. You know how I get.
Hello?
Hey, this is Izzo. Who's this?
This is Brother Emmanuel. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Man, I can't believe how misinformed you guys are.
Educate me, please.
But listen, I'm from Chicago, born and raised, West Side, worstest part of the city. It's not like you think. Believe me when I tell you, the last administration that left out of here, man, I talked to gang members that told me clearly how the boxcar, the trains pulled up in their neighborhoods, opened the doors, and everybody left. Know what was in the boxcars? All kind of weaponry. And they did it on the south side and the west side. Then they turn around and they sent money to these same people to do their bidding. We're not against each other on that level. All of this stuff is a crafted plan. I can't believe you guys don't know. Nobody, there are very few black-owned businesses in the black neighborhood. It's all owned by someone else. The Muslims have all of our stores. We have no mom and pop stores like we used to have when I was young.
I know. I've driven up down North Avenue. You see a ton of buildings that are boarded up. My question is the morality.
It's for that, because when the Muslims came in and they wanted to stop the competition, they paid the junkies and the drug addicts and what have you to target these people, so that they had to run out of business.
Where's the morality come into play? Where's the trainload of guns coming up, and the black community says we're tired of being an NBC 10 o'clock news punchline about how many of us were killed this week. We're not picking the guns up. Where's the morality issue?
Where is the morality? Probably the same place the morality goes when the people go in the white neighborhoods that shoot up the school. You can always find these.
And I've always said that. I think that crimes.
If you want
criminal activity is culturally based. I think that white shooters do schools. I agree with that. I agree with the fact that you get white kids.
Remember, the government cultivates these people. Remember, they cultivate these people.
So what does it take for you guys to take your neighborhoods back?
They put them on drugs, on these drugs that they give them. They cultivate these. You do know that the one thing that every school shooter had in common is that he was on some type of drug from
Yeah,
the government.
because a normal, rational human being is not going to pull a trigger and take lives. I don't care if it's a black male in Chicago or if it's a white male in the city or wherever. I agree with that.
So
But,
when the government cultivates these people, I mean, they didn't start out that way. They probably,
so how many more years, how many more decades?
The ADHD thing and whatnot, and the schools are insisting that the women take their children to the doctor. And this is where they get hooked on this stuff. They were only trying to help their children.
How many more years is it going to take before?
Excuse me, the deep state is real, and they are in every aspect of our lives.
I got some people. So let's ask a question because Christine Hansen is asking some great questions. What does it take for the black community to take their neighborhoods back? And what do you do or for your community?
Okay, what does it take to take the black community back?
Mm-hmm.
That's a heck of a question there, buddy. If I had that answer, I would be implementing that strategy myself.
Well, no, let me ask you a question now. I've been talking about implementing policy and strategy that helps out the black community for the last year and a half. You know I'm running for sheriff, right?
Right.
So hopefully I'm going to get your write-in vote come this November, but are you going to be voting out Emmanuel? Are you going to be voting out Tom Dart? Are you going to be voting out the aldermen and who have done nothing for our system and voting in some people who actually count and matter?
But anybody that is saying anything against President Donald Trump got to go. That's the way I see it, and trust me, I'm not alone. We're not all fools in the black community. Trust me when I tell you.
No, I think it's limited to youth. I think it's a youth issue.
It's like this. They find, like I said, they find these people that they can use and manipulate, and they pay them. They pay these people to get on air. So when we see the camera, we see, and it look like the black community ain't got no sense. That's far from the truth. This is only the few that the cameras are pointing at. But in the meanwhile, there are millions of black people that are wondering what in the hell is going on. Because we know it's not like that. That swing vote that came in for Trump was black. And people are failing to recognize that. We weren't that stupid. Believe me, Chicago did not wake up Izzo Obama's 7th year when he tried to get that $6 billion for them illegal Mexican children. That's when Chicago finally woke. You go on YouTube and find the videos where they were saying, "What in the hell are you did nothing for our kids?"
Well,
but you in office.
let's.
That's when Chicago
No,
finally woke up.
I appreciate the call. Let's see what we could do in this coming November, and I hope I earn your vote.
Will do.
Thanks. Be safe.
And keep doing what you're doing too, buddy.
You got my number, so send me a text if I can ever come in your community. This is my line. Send me a text. Tell me to come out to your community and talk to people and get to know what you need. I've been asking people for the last year and a half. Have me out to your neighborhoods. I will come anywhere, anytime, any day to find out what you need and how to fix this problem.
I'll surely keep in touch, buddy.
Great, thank you. Have a great night. All right, 520 area code, Sierra Vista, Arizona. Got to call you guys. This is what I want. I want a dialogue. I want to know because I'm not going to pull punches. I'm going to give you the perception, which is the black community cannot control themselves and they are killing one another because they have no respect for life, no matter what you blame it on. That's the perception. That's what it seems like. You can't keep going back on this systemic racism because I don't believe it exists. Hey, this is Izzo. Who's this?
Is it Izzo?
Yep.
Are you still live?
Yeah, we're live. What do you got?
Well, what was the question at hand? What was the question for today?
It's a general statement where I'm seeing that once again, you got 200 plus shootings in Chicago this month alone. 64 have been killed in a month, and it's the black community seems. I have to put the word seems like there's no caring for life. There's a blaming of everybody else with their problems. I want to know where I'm missing the point and what can be done to solve this issue. And I'm generalizing across the board. And you gotta lower the background noise too, please.
Yeah, it's a lot. But this is what I think. I think just like anything else, dealing with drugs, prime example. I think once the drugs hit the white community, that's when something normally happens. For one, and I'm taking that into shooting. I think once it really riddles white America, something would happen. And this is a prime example when I talk about something that happened. I'm talking about the government stepping in, putting things in place. There's a millionaire who gave $11 million to a poor community that had poor graduation rates, and everything was just at a bad place. And because of that, the $11 million he gave to the community, they went from like a 60% graduation rate to almost 100% graduation rate. And they asked him, why did he give that money? Because he said they needed promise. They needed something to look forward to. They needed a chance. And I think the environment, without assistance, goes nowhere. Crabs in the barrel.
Okay.
It goes nowhere. So I think that someone needs to step in with a genuine concern for mankind, not just in your neighborhood or anything. A genuine concern for mankind needs to step in. The company does, and somehow give some assistance. That is my answer.
You got LeBron James. Did you see what LeBron James announced?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you see what LeBron James announced? He's going to be funding everything from equipment to school to people who graduate free college. Did you see what he was doing? Very philanthropic, I believe is the word. But that was great on his part.
I'm sorry?
I think it was great on his part.
You're pretty muffled. Say that again, please.
I said I think that was pretty great on his part.
It is. And I tell you, I know it's easy to say, why don't you help yourself? Why don't you help yourself? But you have to think about generations of people in a certain situation. And sometimes they don't know any better. And everyone's goal in life is to do better than their parents. But you understand, when they do better than their parents, it's not much. It's nowhere near what
I respect all that. I get that, but I don't understand the logic and the mind. And again, you don't have another community in America, the Hispanic community, the Asian community, the white community, that kills themselves at the rate of the black community. Where is the education that says morality-wise, right and wrong, killing another human being is wrong? At what point in time does a young black urban male say, oh, I should value the life of another human being regardless of how disrespected I feel? How is that lack of education? It's just right and wrong. I'm having a hard time comprehending that.
But you understand what affluenza is, right?
I'm sorry?
It is a matter of right and wrong. But the thing is that if you're in that environment, you become a product of that environment.
I agree.
There's no assistance interfering and showing you anything better. Now, I know you're saying it's right and wrong, but you understand, I'm a black American. I'm from the country of South Carolina. I'm from the deep country, woods, dirt roads of South Carolina. I did 25 years in the military.
Thank you for your service.
Life for myself. But I know exactly. But see, in that area, there's no gangs, there's no bunch of drugs or anything like that. But if I was in Chicago, what would have happened to me? And again, there are a product over there environment. It takes a lot that's got to happen. It's got to take interference. The government has to intervene.
I said it. Start saturating more cops, bring in the National Guard, start waking people up.
They have to see something different. And know there's there's something better. Someone's got to change their hearts and minds. You understand, these guys, sometimes it's a matter of survival.
Unfortunately, I get that. I get it, because it's just like the Second Amendment. Why in the name of God would I not arm myself when there's lunatics out there who could potentially wind up breaking? So I get that it's in a more concentrated area. Why, as a black kid in Chicago, would you not learn how to arm yourself or protect yourself? Or do something, because there's going to be lunatics out there who could kill yourself for the color of your jacket. It's a problem.
Right. And you know what? That's about survival. Because, think about living in a place or living your whole life, not being able to wear a certain color.
I get it.
Not being able to walk outside and go to a park where there's not drugs.
On that scheme, on that.
All they see, so they don't really know much better.
I get it, but it's not limited. That's not mutually exclusive to the black community, because as a white male, it would be very foolish for me to walk on a weekend night, summertime in Chicago, in one of the south or west side neighborhoods alone by myself. It'd be very stupid to do that. So I don't know what happened. So you know what? It's not. I get it. I guess morally speaking, there's the concept of defending yourself. And there's the concept of riding 4 or 5 deep in a car on a Friday night, driving past someone's house to light it up. I don't understand that. Don't get it. And where's the? And I don't mean to interrupt you, but where's the disingenuous outrage of the black community for protesting over a cop who shot an armed black man versus a black man who was an innocent bystander who was 82 years old, who was shot and killed walking his dog? Nobody heard about that. Why is it so? Why is the selective? Why is there selective outrage?
But again, the reason the drive-by shootings in each other's houses and things of that nature, it's like this. Okay, it's like this. And because they did it in Afghanistan, they did it in Iraq, all the places, Somalia, all the places out there. And the reason they do this because they want to kill that bad guy, but they think it's bad to them before he kills them.
Yeah. I respect that.
Man. That's the best way I can tell you.
I respect that.
Because you know what? You may be able to reach the heart and mind of a few versus let's say a few others that are still out there doing crazy things. Who do you think is going to lose? Who do you think is going to lose? The ones that you've said you don't need to kill. You need to turn your back.
I think they're going to be sitting ducks.
They're going to die, dude.
I think they're going to be sitting ducks. I agree with you.
Right, they're going to die, dude. So that's why this is happening. Again, I work here. I'm a volunteer football coach. I coach many different sports. But the thing is, I deal with kids all the time. I deal with kids that I have to go pick up and bring to practice from one side of town to the other because their parents don't want to be involved in things that's happening on a daily basis there. And that's why I spend probably about $30,000-$40,000 a year dealing with kids, and I get nothing back. Dealing with kids alone. And just to make sure I can bring them on this side of the town, and they can be a part of my organization. They can see better things. They can see both parents there. They can see what it's like to be loving. And then what that does is it gives them something outside of what they've been brought into. There's something to strive for. But see, not every area's got that luxury. Chicago don't have that luxury. But here in Texas, I can do that. I'm
not sure where we're going to go from here, but it's.
But one thing is, it's easy to say, why don't they stop killing each other? That's my point. It's easy to say that because you're not there. You're not in it, and it boggles your mind why somebody would kill another person for little or no reason. But the thing is, it boils down to survival, and what needs to happen is someone needs to intervene. I don't care if they take every gun out of every house in Chicago. Maybe that's what needs to happen. Somebody
will find a way to do something. I get the survival aspect. If my block tonight turned into the purge, you can bet your ass I'd be the last man standing. I understand that. But it's it's a shame that it came to that point. It's a shame.
It's like a poll store. It's only supposed to colors. You want a limited color. Red, a blood plus a limited color. And that's what it boils down to. And the robbery part is just keep this in mind, man. When you put a bunch of people in one area, all right. And for the longest time, you know what redlining is. When you put a bunch of people in one area and they really can't get anything out of that area, they can't move out of that area and really get anything better for themselves because just the things just aren't there for that to happen. What they're going to do is they're going to start preying on each other, just like a bunch of crabs in a barrel.
Well, you know what? Tactically speaking, it's pretty stupid because, and I don't want to give anybody ideas, but if I'm in a group like that and I'm attacking and I'm robbing and I'm stealing from the community that is lacking from the most, fuck that. I'm going out where there's food and money and everything else I need, and I'm going to start attacking there instead.
They can try, but you got to keep in mind.
They won't win.
In order for you to do that, first of all, you have to get educated.
Yep.
I'm talking about with college and things of that nature. And those aren't the opportunities they'll have there. They don't have, as much as we would like to say they do, everybody that I've met from Chicago, from the inner city, I met the military. You know what I mean? You just don't need, I'm talking about the inner city, you know? I'm talking about the ones that were Bloodstones and all these different types of gang members and stuff like that. They just don't have the opportunity to get out. And that's what I want people to see and understand. It's easy to say that. Why don't they leave? Why don't they go somewhere and make a better living? Because they don't have that opportunity.
Well,
and one of the,
do you think, let me, because I got about a minute left here, let me ask you a question. If you think if every resource got pumped into those neighborhoods, the schools got 100% turned around, infrastructure, businesses, everything, every opportunity was equally on par with every other community out there, do you think a difference would be made?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And an example was when I told you earlier about that, he was a hotel millionaire, tycoon type guy, who pumped $11 million into a poor community, into their schools, and things of that nature. And it went from like 60%, and I want to say it was less, graduating from high school to almost 100%. That's a prime example right there. And if I was studying my Europe, because when I was studying about my iPad, it was kind of muffled out by my pool. But the thing is that that's a prime example. He pumped the money into that, and this was a white guy. Pumped the money into a neighborhood he never lived in. He pumped that money in there because he said they needed a chance. They needed that, and it worked. It worked.
Well, hopefully there's more of that then.
I just wanted to add this to your conversation. Sure. I'll follow you sometimes. But guy, let me tell you something, man. Living around the world, being in all these different countries, spending 25 years in the military, I've crossed every type of person that you could think of coming. I was a drill instructor and all of that came from these bad places that wanted to do well. But I'm telling you, when they come to me, when I was a drill instructor like 15 years ago, when they came to me, they were different from everybody else. And it took a lot more work from me and my drill instructors to get them on the same sheet of music as the majority of the guys that were there, because of where they came from. It took us intervening and not slapping their mouth, putting them out the military, saying he's not worth the money, he's not worth the work. I mean, we stuck in there and we changed their mind, we changed their hearts, and they came out. Now those guys are sergeants and majors.
That's opportunity, pride, progress, and a chance to build your self-worth. I get it. No, thanks for the call. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, thanks. I don't think we're going to find answers anytime soon, but let's see. We'll see where we're moved to. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central, more of the American Warrior. We got a lot to talk about as things go on, and I want your views always, your conversations, and your viewpoints. And if you're just watching us now, you can always, in a replay, 708-982-0974, the number at the bottom here. You can text me your ideas, and I will be more than happy to contact you or bring it up on the next show. See you guys tomorrow night for more of the American Warrior here on LibertyOneTV.com.